Oh, yeah, Mrs. TPH, started just a bit early. They're supposed to be picking up their coverage very soon, but I figured I'd pop in a couple minutes early and just get take a quick flight in the Seneca so you could see the Seneca. So. Fucking way, don't need no big cities in this Honda Jet. Gotta in this Honda Jet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome everybody to, well, not really a flight sim stream, but we're going to watch the rocket here shortly. Hopefully they just got go with prop load sent to them, so we should be good to go very shortly over to their stream. Right now I got Tim Dodd in the background. Obviously 100% worth watching if you haven't. Watching him, his streams are way better than mine. But I get my information from him as to where things are at. Put NASA spaceflight on in the background because I can't find Tim on this one. It says 47 minutes to launch. Well, there, but I figured I'd take the Seneca out for a flight for Viz. I know he said it's one of the things he put in his list. The Seneca is one of my favorite airplanes. Literally are all the twin engines just about. Oh, yeah. I wish we had some more twin engine turboprops. I know we have the King Air, which is tired of, it's in a Sobo one, it's not great. And then we've got the Turbine Duke, which is stupidly expensive. But for non-turboprop ones, Seneca is great. The other Piper is great. And the two Cessnas, the 414 and the 310. So I'm just going to go for a little stroll here. The Piper Aztec, the Piper Apache twin. I flew in the Apache. There's not even one of those in the sim yet. There used to be an Apache based out of this airport that I've been in several times. Been to Boston and back in it. They're good planes. This one is a 2020 that works entirely. Everything works in 2024 on it. The radar. The HUD doesn't work. But the HUD never worked in 2020 either. I'd turn on any of my things. It's relatively easy to start this bird too. Are you mighty? There's Mrs. The weather's only 55% favorable, so it's a little better than 50-50 chance they get off today. As far as you want a totally clean plane, you could eat off this plane. The skins on this plane don't have any dirt. The windows don't have any dirt. The sound does change if you open the windows, which you can't do while you're flying. You have to do it while you're on the ground. She's clean. She's not dirty. Your home polished plane, yeah. This one's clean, not a dirty plane. Take a ride down over Henry Uniline's farm. How are you, test pilot? We should be kicking over to this relatively quickly. Yep, they're live already, so we'll jump on over there in just a second. There's a rental place out of there. Planes is clean. Yeah, this place. Oh man, I went too far. I don't even remember my own landmarks. I got to go up over the golf course. Fly it like you stole it. There's the golf course. Remember my landmarks. We go home for the launch. Yeah, they're on. We'll go switch over to there in just a second. Kate was on the launch earlier, but not. I don't know if she's going to be on this one. We'll land and go pick up their coverage. Flaps and gear. Craigwood Golf Course. Supposedly a really good course. I don't know. I don't play golf. I play miniature golf. That's my idea of golf. Tower's not lined up quite right. The tower should be right off the end of the runway, but it's not. Real life it is. Because it isn't. It was put there to mark the end of the runway. Ooh. Did I overshoot that? Wow, I screwed that up. Maybe it is off the end of the runway and I just screwed up my lineup. Yeah, this airport doesn't have the white and red lights either. Way too fast. We'll bleed that off here before we get to the wicked headwind. Oop. That right there used to be a giant plywood triangle on a ball bearing. And that kept the wind around. So let's go on over.
After that, though, we did run into some issues with attitude control, which eventually led us to skipping the payload deploy.
Hey Viz, if you want to rewind 10 minutes there, you can see I took the Seneca out.
Nominal attitude and communication was unfortunately lost approximately 46 minutes into the flight test during entry.
Look at the freaking fumes, vapors and shit. I took the Seneca out just for a spin so you could get a look at it.
That was caused, we had much higher than predicted forces on the booster structure, really honing in on that internal fuel transfer tube inside. That was all due to that
jump on over
experiment we were running for today's flight and any of the remaining ones.
I'll leave that up.
Version of the booster, we're just lowering the angle of attack for the booster as it comes in, relaxes those.
It's clean. I mean, it's like spotless, like you expect to see an airplane. You could eat off of the paint. There's no dirty windshields. There's no dirt on the plane.
put it through a more rigorous test campaign and subjected it to flight-like stresses, and eventually we were able to actually run it for more than 10 times the expected service life with no damage, which was super exciting. Our goal is always, of course, to make it through all of the objectives we set, but any result that teaches us more about Starship performing in the real-world environment helps us to make those targeted iterations and improve quickly.
That's kind of been the secret to our success. That's how we developed Falcon 1, our first rocket. It's how we developed Falcon 9, which we've already flown more than 100 times just this year. A little insane. And 500 flights overall.
Yeah,
it's bonkers. 100 flights this year already.
Their lead and launch, learn, and repeat.
So we finished Flight 9, we were getting ready for Flight 10, and if you followed along, we originally had a different ship number 36, that was slated to fly on Flight 10, but that experienced
exploded.
pretty anomaly during its static fire test out at our Massey's test site.
Exploded.
Actually, in its second static fire, or sixth engine, we were loading cryogenic propellant on board. We saw a sudden energetic event, complete loss of Starship, damage to the stand, and some of the immediate area surrounding it.
The most likely root cause that we were able to identify was undetectable or understream damage to a composite overwrapped pressure vessel, or COPV, in Starship's payload base section. To address this probable cause, we are operating the COPVs on Starship at a lower pressure and also implemented additional proofs and inspection methods.
Look at the views.
Got to maintain our launch schedule, got to keep testing, so we pivoted to actually using the launch pad, the same one we're stacked on right now, to do ship static fire tests, something we had never done before. A retrofit was the fastest path to get back to flying. The team was able to engineer, implement a solution. We used a ship transport ring, sawed some stuff off, welded some stuff on. We're able to mount the ship, load propellant using what we usually
Would have taken NASA a year to get back to flight ready status, and they were back in a month and a half.
Yeah, it was really an incredible turnaround to see. And the static fires did give us the data we needed to progress to launch, and are a prime example of our engineer and technician teams working together to build creative solutions to keep us charging.
They said if they have the delay past a day, they'll have to bring in more. It'll be a 2-day delay because they're gonna boil off too much fuel. They won't have enough fuel in the tanks to fill it again. They'll have to bring in more trucks than they have available.
Looking forward to it. Okay, back to the rocket on the pad currently. Starship is the first orbital launch vehicle engineered to be fully reusable. It's built for frequent flights and a significant amount of payload.
It is the largest rocket ever made, ever flown, largest flying object in human history. It's going to be the vehicle that enables our foundational mission to eventually bring humans to Mars. I recently, just yesterday, got a chance to do a deep dive into kind of everything big picture Starship. Had some special guests, Elon Musk and Bill Riley. Let's take a look at that.
We're about to launch the largest flying object ever made, but this isn't on the radar for everybody, and we know that, so we want to kind of take a beat, pull back, do a little bit of Starship 101. To do that, I've got some special guests crashing the webcast today. Joining me now in Star Factory, Elon Musk, Chief Engineer at SpaceX. Bill Riley, our VP of Starship Engineering. Thanks for being here, guys. I know we got a rocket about to get off the pad, but you know, let's start people off like high level, like why are we here? What the hell are we doing here?
Well, I don't know about everybody, but I'm here to try to build into the future.
As that helicopter, love that. Yesterday.
With people are out among the stars exploring the universe.
Yeah, so the why, it's always important to explain the why of things. And the why of Starship is that
you can check research papers by some of my father's students.
Beyond Earth.
I funded student research into time travel. I don't doubt that a bit.
Survival and prosperity of life as we know it in consciousness, which if we are a multi-planet species and ultimately
time travel forward is definitely possible. Backwards, I don't know. I would imagine at some point, but forward's possible.
But then there's also
with general relativity.
Things that are inspiring and exciting and that give you reason to live. Life cannot just be about solving one tragic problem after another. There must be also reasons to get up in the morning and be excited about the future. And a future where we are a spacefaring civilization is infinitely more exciting
testing it.
than one where we are not.
And we're doing it all pretty unique location. I mean, the pad's behind us. We got rocket on the tower.
That's pretty cool.
Tower right there. We're sitting inside Star Factory, and I mean, it wasn't like this for very long. This is all pretty brand new.
Yeah, I think we moved Starship here in about the early part of 2019, so we've been coming that entire time and seeing the site evolve from a double-wide trailer and a tent where we built Starhopper to the first suborbital test flights, and now we have behind us 2 towers for the first time as we build towards the first operational flight from the second tower at the end of this year, and this beautiful building, 1 million square feet, where we're able to work towards a production line of Starships.
Yeah,
Still amazing how close you can get to this thing when it's not fueled. The fact they let people drive and walk so close.
Manufacturing facility that has ever existed. This is far beyond any rocket fabrication facility that has ever been built. This is essentially alien level technology, and it was all built here, basically down by the Rio Grande River and close to the beach.
Modulated neutrons.
Improbable location. And
Bunky.
this used to be a sandbar. I think we're about, 3 feet or about a meter above sea level.
Who the hell was it? One of the was it Blue Oyster Cult? No. One of the
if you see the time lapse from
famous rock stars did a thing where you could communicate faster than light by quantum entangling
gigantic rocket factory with high
2 atoms and moving them anywhere in the world or anywhere in the universe, and because they were entangled, they would instantly what state one was in, the state the other one was in, and then they came up missing. I can't remember which. It wasn't Blue Oyster Cult. What the hell one was it? Moody Blues? I don't remember now, but he apparently came up with.
gigantic rockets.
No, they're not going to try to bring it back yet. They have to successfully land it at least once in the ocean before they try to catch it on land. They got to prove it can get back.
See the rocket, you can quite close up. I mean, you can drive past it. And
They have to prove it can relight its engine,
and anyone can do that.
maintain stable in orbit, and
Come and visit and
land
check it
in
out.
the ocean. Then they can bring it back.
Just not right now.
Just not right now.
Just not right now.
It's not when we're launching because there's some safety issues.
Because right now they don't do
But the rocket's
orbital
not
launch.
Just sitting on the
They're on a suborbital trajectory, so it goes up and comes back down. So even if everything goes to shit, it's going to come back down.
Yeah, I think it's a really special place. Yesterday, the ship went down the road behind us, and I saw families outside going for their, on Sunday, going for their Sunday stroll, and they were greeted by Starship going down. And I think that from the very beginning, the thing about Starship, different than Falcon and other rockets that I'm aware of, is we designed it to be mass-produced and mass-produced at scale. And it's
Yeah,
not about
there'll be a pretend tower out in the ocean, and they have cameras out in the ocean on buoys where it's going to land. So hopefully we'll get some shots of it coming down in the water if it survives that far. They actually have 360 cameras out on buoys out there with Starlink, so they're going to try to land on a fake tower.
stuff coming for any reason. And that reason could be something cataclysmic, or it could be that
The belly flop is fucking bonkers.
There's always
And then
this
it
debate
does that belly flop and then flips at the last second, comes in and gets. I can't wait till they do that at the tower. It's going to be bonkers.
The critical thing is to get to the point where Mars is self-sustaining and can survive even if the resupply ships stop coming for any reason, which means that you need to build an entire base of industry on Mars in order for Mars to survive. For example, it's not simply enough to build a chip, like a computer chip factory, but you need the ability to build computer chip factories. So this is going to really take a lot of tonnage. I mean, my guess is at least 1 million tons to the surface of Mars, and maybe it takes less than that, but it's going to be a lot. But this is a very exciting future. It's one which will ensure the long-term survival and prosperity of
Crazy amount of
consciousness.
weight to get there.
It's the critical stepping stone to get from
Done by the Navy vertical takeoff prop planes.
other star systems. And
All was done.
All
The flip maneuver. Yeah, that's where they tried to catch it.
Maybe they're alive now.
Yeah.
Or maybe they enjoyed a period of prosperity for millions of years, but also died out millions of years ago. So
That
it's,
crazy
humbling to
twin
think
rotor
about
prop
was,
thing, or counter-rotating prop.
standard model of physics being approximately
So just watched an awesome video on 2024 side by side.
an incremental
Fully
building
downloaded, fully
will
streamed.
be,
Fully downloaded looks
3D
better,
just
but
past
fully
this point.
streamed has higher
If
FPS.
you look
interesting.
Our civilization and measure our civilization.
What's the person's hard drive throughput? That's what would be my ask.
5,500 years ago.
Because that would be the difference between the two.
First writing.
Yeah, the vertical. I know what one plane you're talking about. I know exactly which Navy plane you're talking about.
Flash in the pan so far.
Well, we're getting some cool shots.
A weird little X thing with the counter-rotating prop
We
on the
tell people,
nose.
like, come down, see it. It's hard to get like a sense of scale of just how massive this thing is. And we were able to catch somebody working on it a little while ago. And like part of the reason.
So he's got a bottleneck on his hard drive, I would bet.
That's kind of why this
And I
thing is
think
so
in this
massive.
image, Dan, we can
Having
also
transfer
see,
issues with his
looking at the
drive
bottom of the
drive
ship, but as
speed.
we zoom out, you see the full ship, that sort of two-tone silver and black, and then the booster below it, right? And it
You
really
would imagine he has a
sets the
SSD,
scale.
but still, I think he's got that would be a bottleneck.
In person. And when I do tours, I like to say Starship is real, Starship is big.
What's happening? About 32 minutes to lunch.
There.
It's filling with propellant. You can see the frost line on it. They're replaying Musk's thing from yesterday.
More behind it.
But you got a frost line here. That's yesterday's. This is live today's.
Yesterday,
Frost line there, frost line there.
Part of the Starship factory, you can get a sense of the scale of the factory.
It's like 55% go right now for launch.
Talk a bit about
The weather's
why Starship
typical
is,
summer weather along the coast.
like, for example,
Get thunderstorms
why
every afternoon.
the ship, black half of it is silver colored.
And how are you, Gammy?
The bottom half of the ship, the bottom as seen from orbital entry, has a heat shield on it. So the black.
Can't gonna believe they're gonna replay this entire Musk interview. I want Kate.
The core structure of the rocket is.
We're not gonna get Kate tonight. We got the other girl.
And that's where you see the sort of shiny silver parts are stainless steel. The reason for steel over aluminum is that the heat of atmospheric entry and the heat of the rocket engines is enough.
Good, about to boot up the work laptop.
But steel is much more resilient against both ascent heating, but especially the re-entry heating. And you don't even have to paint it, which is actually very difficult to paint a large object that is going through cryogenic cycles and have the paint stay on. It's quite challenging.
And so we've talked about it.
Come on, let's get over to live. Come on, I don't want to listen to them talk
A
anymore.
lot of energy
I heard
to
him
make that
yesterday.
thing move, and that's where Raptor really
What?
starts to come
No
in. Most
way.
advanced engine on the planet.
Fuck's sake.
Giant
Yes.
lightsaber.
No, that's a lightsaber and a half. You would get vaporized in an instant if you were standing in front of Raptor. So, yeah, burnt to a crisp in less than a second. So, yeah, so in order to create a fully reusable orbital rocket, you have to advance the state of the art in every part of the rocket. That means the engines have to be better than any engine ever. The structure's got to be better than any structure ever. You've got to you've got to have a means of bringing the rocket back to the launch pad. You've got to have a fully reusable orbital heat shield, and that no one has ever made a fully reusable orbital heat shield. The space shuttle, for example, required
Come on.
9 months of refurbishment between flights. So the space shuttle heat shield would come back essentially partially broken and would require many months of refurbishment in order to fly again. What we're trying to achieve here with Starship is to have a heat shield that can be flown immediately. So
The fuel is
ship,
pumped
both
through the
ship and booster
rocker bells
will be
first to
caught
cool
by
the bell.
tower arms.
Get the
And
fuel for use.
the
Engines look
booster
interesting.
will be placed immediately
Yeah, that's how they keep
on
the bells from
launch
melting.
station. And the ship's got to orbit Earth at least
You'd be
once.
vaporized in an instant under a Raptor engine. Yeah, you think?
But then could be back potentially in one orbit, but in most cases several orbits. So the ship would come back several hours later, but then be caught by the arms and placed on top of the booster. You could also have multiple ships ready so that a single booster could service 5 or more ships, so that you could be flying the booster in theory every hour.
If you flew that every hour, how much fucking fuel would you have to have? You'd have to have a massive fuel production plants right on site.
Largest flying object by far ever made.
You'd have to have some direct pipelines of the freaking methane, and I mean huge amounts of methane, and fucking massive fuel farm generating oxygen.
To get the the booster and the ship back to flight.
So, yeah, I don't think that would you would live very long. Thought the cigarette would cause cancer.
Landing legs that put down, and the ship we've successfully demonstrated landing with legs. But if you do that, if we were to do that with the booster and the ship here, we'd have to land.
It's a fucking skyscraper that's flying. That's the most amazing part.
Stow the legs, transport the rocket back to the pad with
Cool server farms, yeah.
unwieldy when you've got a gigantic thing.
I still can't believe they were talking about, what was it?
Arms and place
How many terabits per second that fucking
launch mount.
laser can transmit on board the Starlink satellites?
And would add a lot of mass.
Like my entire server in a second could be transferred. Both servers. Transfer every bit of data I have in both servers in 1 second. They're fucking insane numbers.
To catch the rocket. And that means that we can put the booster back in the launch mount in less than an hour after liftoff. In fact, the booster's going to come back very fast. Like, 5 or 6 minutes later, this booster's coming back one way or another, or not coming back. So then you really have propellant full time, which can be brought down to about 30, 40 minutes, and that means it is theoretically possible to fly the booster again in less than an hour.
I think when I think about it, it's the jet drives up to the jetway, the people get off, new people get on, and it leaves. You don't want to land the jet on a different airfield and then tow it over to the jetway. So it's just operationally simpler and faster.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with the booster, 3 for 3 on the catch attempts when we bring it back. We've reflown one, so awesome. And then, again, Starship superpowers, the whole thing is reusable. So ship reusability is like what we're working on right now. We've been able to get some really spectacular...
Once they actually hit full reusability, the cost of space goes down so much. Because you're throwing none of it away. Then it's down to the cost of fuel and maintenance. That's it. Space Shuttle's problem was the maintenance cost was more expensive than the fucking building a new one.
For both the ship and the booster, but
And the solid rocket boosters on the shuttle were quote-unquote reusable, but it cost 20% more to reuse them than the brand spanking new ones. There's the flip maneuver. Look at that. Comes down. Whoa! Flip and down. That is so fucking cool. That's real. That's not CG. That was one of the earlier flights from one of the buoys.
How big the gap is between tiles, changing what's underneath the tile. There's 100 different variables that we could tweak with the ship.
Meanwhile, we have anti-gravity and black sites that could do this all day, but no, I think we do. But I think what we don't have at the black sites is the fuel needed to power the anti-gravity devices.
And we have successfully brought the ship back through the atmosphere and achieved a soft landing multiple times.
Look at that
so
thing.
We know that this is possible, but we have in the process shed many heat shield tiles. So we need to be able to do this without...
That's CG, that one.
And do so repeatedly.
And I think what you're seeing now is the Starship. This is CG of it coming in and landing on the tower, much like the booster, but there's some additional challenges there where we need to make sure we don't scrape the tiles off as we slide along the chops.
We can't shuck the heat shield.
Don't crush the ship.
Rapid reusability.
If we shuck the tiles, then that's obviously...
Heard there is a new version of the...
So ships can use the tower to
Rock
land
coming
and
when
catch,
it-
like the booster here on Earth where towers are available.
When is
And
that?
for our initial
Then
landings on
test-
Mars and other planets, we'll need
Rock
landing
coming.
legs that deploy much like
This
we've
is...
seen here with ships
We got one more...
when we did our suborbital
This is
test.
Gen 2. We got one more after this, and then we're at
Descent,
general...
landing.
Then we'll be at version 3, which will have the
Full test. We
new
actually
Raptors
did
on it.
one was we were able to actually recover it, and it's, you can see it here. in
I
the
think there's
rocket
one more
if you visit
version
the
2,
surface.
and then version 3 will be out, which is even taller.
Bill mentioned we have actually a whole bunch of...
It's even bigger, it's taller.
We'll be adding to them over time, so you can...
It's going to
see
have
an
9
evolution
engines instead of
Starship,
6.
just by driving down the highway.
Yeah. So
The new Raptor 3 engines are incredibly
technologies
efficient,
are still looking to
like
prove out. Really big
bonkers
one is gonna
so.
be the on-orbit refilling. Looking to do that next year, and that's really what's going to kind of unlock, Starship going everywhere else, going everywhere beyond Earth, and that's something that's.
It's going to take like 10 flights to fill that thing up, though. I mean, that's crazy when you think about it.
is
There's only 1/10 of the fuel left when it gets up there,
kind of some of the other secret sauce.
and you have to have enough to land.
We're going to be able to send hundreds of tons per ship to Mars.
Yeah, I like to think of it as if we get to orbit with a full cargo bay, but we're empty on fuel and oxygen. So basically, we're running on fumes. Then we send other ships to dock, transfer propellant. And now we made our two-stage rocket look like a many multi-stage rocket. And we get all of that performance. We can take that full cargo bay now wherever we want to go.
Yeah, so a crucial technology that we hope to demonstrate next year is this orbital refilling, much like aerial refueling. It's essential.
If I'm wrong, but the timeline they have on putting these on Mars, a little too close.
So you essentially send
Well, it'll be every 26 months or whatever it is. 20.
a few hundred tons of
I think it's every 26 months the window opens. So they're pushing for the next one. But they got to refly them and refuel them, and then they can send it. Until they refuel, they can't do anything. Well, they got to be able to catch them. They got so much shit they got to do first. So yeah, I think they're looking at, instead of 2026, I think they're looking at the 2028 window.
Not something that's ever been demonstrated before, so that would be a brand new technology. We also have at SpaceX figured out how to dock repeatedly with the space.
And I still haven't figured out why they haven't thought of the
like docking.
building a couple ships in orbit and sending them to Mars in an orbit that just constantly goes to Mars and back.
With its own craft. But
You could build some monster ships here in Earth orbit, then bring them up to speed, and then just leave them constantly going back and forth. They'll orbit on their own, the proper orbit. They'll go to Mars, they'll come back here. They'll go to Mars, they'll come back here,
propellant transfer.
without any more fuel once they're up to speed.
The key technologies needed for building.
Then you only need enough fuel to get up to speed, get on it, and then come back. And then the next, when you get to Mars, you need enough speed to slow down.
And we will be landing ships on Mars in the future and building.
The moon
building greenhouses and
is a good place to start because you can get the speed of the moon if you actually launched from the moon. It would be, you would get this big speed boost of how much the moon is going around the Earth. That'd be like a giant slingshot.
The other creatures cannot build spaceships.
But there's not a lot of methane on the moon.
Planets. So if there were to be a cataclysmic event, like a giant meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs, or ultimately the sun will expand to envelop Earth and destroy.
This world was not focused so much. That's not, I think, quite the opposite. The vast majority of our technology came from war.
If we don't take life to another
All the
planet,
planes, all the jets, all the rockets, they're all missile tech.
ensure
Every bit of it's freaking military tech.
and
Almost every last bit of it comes from military. War.
we know it on planet Earth.
You know how much, how far we came because of war.
So much that Starship unlocks by being able to do these things.
I mean, the first rockets were nothing more than missiles from World War II.
Just transformational things by being
German missiles. We even grabbed the German von Braun to come help build our missiles because he was building,
Understanding
or build our
planet better,
space program because it was all missiles.
around the planet, make it feel smaller and more accessible. You could go anywhere on the Earth, in less than 40 minutes, basically.
Oh, I was one of the
Flights
German
back. So
translators. That's
I really
cool.
do see Starship as being this thing that can connect us,
Oh.
just like Starlink connects our information. This can connect us more.
Oh, that's cool.
physically.
How your mom and dad met.
So there's really nothing faster than a rocket. Really, an orbital rocket is the fastest thing that we know of. Of the fastest means of transport. So, like you could go from
You're almost there.
to Sydney,
Halfway, maybe.
less
A
than
little
half
more.
an hour. You could go from LA to Tokyo.
Come on, shut these guys up. I want to know some updates on what's going on.
No. Everything's roughly half an hour, basically. Some things might be 10 minutes.
I mean, yeah, sign me up for that, please.
My aunt and uncle met at my dad's,
10 minutes, no problem.
Please, yes.
my dad's
25 times the speed of sound, so that's 30 times faster.
bachelor party. My dad was dancing with her
It's a whole hell of a lot better.
had his bachelor party and he was dancing with this girl. My uncle came up and said, "You don't want to dance with him. He's getting married tomorrow." And then less than a year later, they were getting married.
I just
50s rocket scientist and a low-temp nuclear physicist. That's cool. Yeah, you posted one of your pictures of some of the files there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, thanks for your support.
There, they're gone. Updates?
All right. Obviously, that was really cool. There's probably not anybody else cooler on the planet to talk Starship with. Still very ready to sign up for that point-to-point travel too. Also, though, it's really hard to relay just how much power is being generated by these engines on this rocket. We try to compare it to something like a little bit closer to home for people. We've used an
I think one of the reasons they're not going to the moon first is it's a totally different environment. Like the moon can't test any of the landing features because there's no atmosphere at all. And I think Musk has just really been pushing for Mars ever since day one. It's all been about Mars. Like a video game. He used to play the Lunar Lander Sim. You know they used to have one little dial thing? Hey, Big Al.
It's crazy. And again, that was really cool to just go through
That being his boss.
geek out as much as everybody else over all the nitty gritty, but always important to remember there's a lot of people that just don't know that all of this is happening. So it's cool.
Right, to him, the goal is Mars. So he wants to concentrate on the goal.
17 minutes, 12 seconds, and counting until the 10th Starship flight test. While we do have a moment, though, let's check in over with Tyler Lionquist over in Hong Kong
Tyler.
for the latest on Starship.
Not Kate, but it'll work for now.
I'm Tyler Lionquist, and I'm a Starlink business analyst here at SpaceX.
As a kid going to my dad's work, sat me in the head brother in front of a terminal. He thought it was the best thing ever. I'll bet.
Starship is outfitted with 4 Starlink terminals, allowing us to get live views of ship while
So Tyler's the new Kate. Kate was on the one this morning, with just her voice. Earlier, not this morning, but earlier today.
We monitor the health of the entire constellation. So let's take a quick look for more.
Yep, she does have 2 different colored eyes. That's pretty wild.
What a lot of people might not realize,
Brown and dark brown, or gold and brown.
is that actually 2/3 of the operational satellites in orbit are Starlink satellites.
And we're gonna get the same fucking commercial from yesterday too. Look at this shit. Everything's recycled from yesterday. I mean, she's a wolf? I don't know. Sadie, is she a wolf? Hey?
We've currently got a constellation of over 8,000 satellites that are flying around in orbit. So they're working together to fill out the whole surface of the Earth, make sure everywhere can have service.
It's crazy to think about is that we've been launching shit into space since the 60s.
That is what allows us to have these hundreds of gigabit links.
And SpaceX has now launched, what is it, 95% of all mass to orbit that's ever been off this planet. All mass has been off this planet has been launched by SpaceX. Bonkers numbers. Cut it out. Don't put your head on the keyboard. Little turd.
Technology that's in there.
With its ascent burn, again reaching a planned suborbital trajectory, we'll attempt to deploy 8
There, we're up
Starlink
to live again.
satellites.
Nope. Somehow it wasn't live.
About 11 minutes.
Right, and so just a quick status check-in. So as you said, we're about 11 and a half minutes away.
No.
We have some good news. We got our latest range and weather status, and
It's good.
surprise, everything is looking green today. So that is
Here's the crap in
biggest news
space
that
is
we were looking for,
star
and
junk.
weather
Yeah.
is the main watch item for today. But
Thank
we're
you for
making
letting me
sure
know.
We're not tracking any issues with the vehicle or ground systems, so we are looking pretty good for launch. We did all of our normal pre-flight checkouts with all the different vehicle and pad systems at this very
Weather
moment.
go, range go, vehicle go. Yay.
Far into our proper
Can I stick Sadie on top of it? She's been such a shithead today.
Yep, looking.
You don't sound like a jerk. I don't mind. I'm like one of the most easygoing people, except for earlier today when I banned somebody from the channel, but that's okay.
Locks on the booster side.
But
We'll continue loading prop for a while. We'll close out at about
coming to astronaut.
T minus 30 minutes, 20 seconds on ship, and then 30 seconds later,
What I missed?
finish up
Oh.
loading prop on the booster.
Yeah, so bottom line, a little over 10 minutes to go. Range
Too much
is
junk in
great,
space.
weather, vehicles looking healthy. We're looking
Can't ban me. I always come
right
back.
at the top of our window at 6
Let me back in though.
Central Time.
Can't wait. All right, now let's quickly talk about Mars, since everything we do is part of our foundation.
Yeah, right. I censor everything that's said before it goes out, right?
Starship launch is to learn more and more about what's needed.
Oh,
to
birds
take
best be getting.
and to
You little fuckers best be flying.
millions of people to Mars.
Yeah, we've shared the plan previously in the last couple of months. We're looking to start sending the very first Starships to Mars next year. These missions, not with people. We're just looking minimally viable landers, so let's just prove that we can get there. And so we're just going to focus on learning as much as possible, but looking at all of those different phases, you know, prop load, prop transfer on orbit, sending stuff out to Mars, doing the transit, doing the entry, and just doing a landing.
And in our next window, around 2028,
Censoring out all the bad language.
we're going
Yeah.
to attempt to land the initial infrastructure and start delivering more equipment as well, while evaluating available resources on the way. And we will also have Optimus on board for the ride, who's designed to
Oh,
do
they're moving the flappies.
lifting.
Looks like we're doing some flap checkouts real quick on the ship as we are coming up on 9 minutes. Back to Mars, though, as those wrap up by about 2030,
I love that picture because it's like the iconic one from New York City.
Infrastructure out there on Mars's surface. Start to mine some of those resources, set up some propellant
What the
generation.
fuck is Windows Security popping up for in the middle of the stream?
Oxidizer to send starships back from Mars by the
I hope you're live, so do I.
33.
I kind of hope I'm alive too.
The amount of payload we're sending with each ship as we get closer and closer.
The first one sent to Mars.
Self-sustaining presence on the red planet.
Yeah, they'll
lots
definitely
of
send a
exciting
robots because they're going to build everything for us to get there,
crucial to set
to survive when we get
up
there.
humans to eventually inhabit the
Yeah, they do
planet.
need battery
And we won't be
boxes.
doing this alone. The
Battery
Italian
recharge
space
ports or
agency
something.
and
Those
SpaceX
look like
has
lunch
signed a
boxes.
first-of-its-kind agreement to carry Italian experiments on the first Starship missions to deliver customer payloads to Mars. So these payloads will include a plant growth experiment, a weather monitoring station, and also a radiation sensor to gather scientific data during Starship's approximately 6-month interval
God, peace.
from Earth to Mars and also on the Martian surface.
It's a really exciting mission. Make showing up for work really fun for us.
Here, Elon yesterday said they would need to do 1,000 launches a year.
Just under 8 minutes away from
Yeah, it's a lot of launches.
today. Let's head back over to Tyler and Hawthorne, talk a little bit about how we're going to be increasing the
3 a
number
day?
of Starship launches going forward. Tyler?
Thank you, Dan and Amanda. So to put it plainly, in order to launch
That the
more
robots
starships,
take over Mars and won't let us come.
And that's exactly what we're doing at the Space Launch Complex.
Hey, Tyler.
At Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
What if the robots become so smart on Mars that they stop any humans from heading? Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck you, we don't want you here. We see how you fucked up Earth. We're not going to let you land on Mars.
The Apollo lunar program in the 1960s.
You talking to Tyler, Sadie?
To have the opportunity to continue making spaceflight history at Pad 37 at Starship. But first, we need to optimize the
She's a total geek because she works at SpaceX, so she'd be really impressed with your AI videos.
to prep the site for Starship operations. This will include up to 76 launches a year with up to
Oh, Sadie don't like her.
landings
She's gonna
at
growl.
location for super heavy empty Starship. And to support this flight rate, we plan on building 2 launch pads. Each will have 1 tower that can support launch and landing, plus deflector systems, launch mounts, and water dailies.
That's my in. Yeah, exactly.
It'll
There you
also
go.
include a propellant farm that will produce propellant
I'm just
on-site
too old
and
and
serve
fat.
both
I don't have a
launch
chance.
so there is a lot of work in progress, but Pad 37 is only one part of our plan for Starship operations in Florida. A few miles away from Pad 37 at Kennedy Space Center, our 380-foot-tall vertical...
Oh, Jesus Christ, Kimmy.
Giga Bay is under construction. Once complete next year...
The big ones have been caught, and the upper stage is soft landed in the water. It hasn't been caught yet. She blocked you on Snapchat. Those long nuts terrified her. Already on that.
So with the 2 launch pads in Florida, we'll have the ability to fly up to 120 Starships annually, not including our flights from Starbase. So, action is well underway in Florida. How's it looking in Texas?
Thanks, Tyler. Things are continuing to look good for launch here in Texas, so getting pretty close here with just under 6 minutes left. You mentioned Giga Bay. We're currently laying the foundation for Giga Bay here at Starbase as well, and we expect it to be up and running sometime next year.
Be careful, there is a law in Aussie now that you can go to jail if you do that to anyone without consent. Yeah, if it gets publicly, yeah.
/careers to see all of our
And Kate.
I've been here for a couple of years now.
That'll be your...
Nowhere more magical, more inspirational on the planet. If you're a space nerd, you can come be like Amanda.
That Aussie Kate was pretty hot on,
It's pretty insane. It's
on,
super exciting, and
was it Firefly? One the other day?
all right.
She was an Aussie Kate.
It's surreal to be here for sure.
She was kind of hot.
Okay, so we are looking like
I call her
we're
Aussie Kate. Don't know what the fuck her name was, but
launch and heading into terminal count.
frees up 20 big gigabytes of hard drive space.
Look good, and prop load continues on both stages. stages of Starship will close out here in just a minute or so.
Yeah, we're just about done. It looks like, let me grab my numbers.
Oh, an Aussie kit. Yeah, look up. I posted a Rocket Lab. Excuse me, Rocket Labs. They're the ones that launched from Australia. My first crush was on Kate. Kate's hot, but there's an Aussie girl that's blonde like Kate, perfect hair.
Only a couple of minutes to go there. Once we're done, you've got just shy of 11 million pounds of liquid propellant on board those two different.
Well, you can look at them. I mean, you can rate them as long as you're Muslim over there. They'll let you do whatever you want to them.
It's all going to be happening in our ground systems as we'll do pushbacks. Clear.
I think she's just about full.
Propellant out of those lines that are flowing up through the tower.
Looks like all the lines are.
And get ready for launch. We just did our final guidance, navigation, and control system checkouts. Our flight safety system is being armed right now, and we're doing our final wiggle checks shortly with the engines on the thrust vector control.
You don't fuck sheep.
If we need to hold, which we are not currently tracking a reason to hold, that would come
Nice.
at minus 40 seconds.
They like the ruse. They bounce more.
Out there for about 8 minutes or so right now. That's the point. It's built into the countdown. We need to wait for clouds that just won't go the heck away, or any other issues. We can hang out at T-minus.
Wonder what they're building over there.
But at the moment, we're not planning to do that.
I took a leak right over here. There was no bathrooms out there, right by that bump on the off the beach. I had to piss really bad, so I had to get where nobody could see me. I went over that bump, took a piss.
And after that, the QD on lockout is removed in preparation for retraction, which occurs shortly after T0. And once we pass that T-minus 40 seconds, we do still have the ability to then recycle the count under certain conditions back to T-minus 40 seconds and hold there to assess what happened, and if we can proceed.
Oh, please be successful. Please be successful.
That's right. We do have at
Use
least
our
one
country with no
to
visa
know
needed
that
and come
the
take our jobs.
cold flame
Sound familiar?
deflector underneath the launch mount fires off. That happens a little bit after T-minus 10 seconds. That doesn't
More
turn
impressive,
off
you
once it
pissed
starts
on the
to
rocket? Yeah, I couldn't get. I was close, but not that close, and I can't piss that far.
at that point, so we can refill water tanks. At this point, we're not sure if we'd be able to attempt tomorrow because we have fully loaded the vehicle. We have to do a lot of fancy scheduling to get propellant in here as fast as possible. But again, we've got a pretty heroic and amazing team that works all of those logistics, got us into our attempt today after we did an unplanned wet dress yesterday during our attempt. So really exciting to see. But coming up on 2 minutes, we've got a green range. We are green for weather.
We need to change. You can reach that. We need to change your name. My gosh, here we go. 2 minutes.
Yeah, again, not planning
I'm
on
not like
using
3 minutes behind and it already blew up or some shit, am I?
In case we do pass that and any issues come up, we can recycle the count. We're pretty lucky that we have this ability. Falcon doesn't have that built in, but being a developmental program, this affords us a lot more flexibility. So super useful to be able to have that. But again, not currently tracking any issues, so hopefully we'll be good to launch today.
Let's
We've got a pretty good crowd gathering with us.
Go to the moon, Alice.
Star Factory here at
Look at that.
Starbase. Looks like we're getting a quick TV.
The one-time shot camera.
My favorite view of the rocket.
Right under the launch mount.
So he took off and landed.
So we've got crowds gathered out at Hawthorne, crowds gathered here at Starbase.
Super fun to see people getting to watch out on
Where's the kaboom? There should have been an earth-shattering kaboom.
1 minute to go to launch.
There's lots of holes for you to use. Here we go. We're going to get past 40 seconds.
Right, so again, our hold point comes up at T-minus 40, not tracking any reason to stop there, so we should see us go right through that.
See you in a week. 39. We went past it.
We are through T-minus
Help write the
40.
original program that
We're
prevented the
counting
bells
down.
from bumping.
Let our
That's
flight
cool.
director, Maciek Batura, take us
Here we
the
go.
rest of the way. 30 seconds. The 10th
Flight directors, go for launch.
of Starship.
Here we go. Even Sadie's up on the desk now. Still used here. This is very cool.
T-minus 15.
10,
T-minus 10.
9, 8. Why do we always count backwards once we get to 10?
4, 3, 2,
1, 0. Oh boy, she's rumbling. We're going. Maybe. There it goes. There she goes. All engines lit.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
Yeah, buddy. Look at that fucking thing. Ah, so amazing. Look at the Mach diamonds from that thrust. That is just insane. Oh, we got a new little thing here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Fucking insane, man. So much thrust right there. Look at how much fuel. It's already burned like a quarter of it.
Flight 33 and 33
Avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Max Q already? Fuck. So big to get Max Q that quick.
over the Gulf.
Oh, look at this.
All right, we're a little over 1 minute into flight, about to pass through Max Q.
Okay, good start to show current vehicle weight. Yeah. Look at this bird go.
So we are through the period of maximum dynamic pressure, max stress on the vehicle as it continues to fly.
Our next major event is going to be hot staging, which is happening in just over 90 seconds from now.
More than half the tank, almost 2/3 gone.
Of its Raptor engines.
Look at how much fuel that bitch is burning through per second. Is insane.
Stage ignites its engines. The ship then separates from the super heavy booster and heads to space.
Look at how wide it's getting already because of being up in space. How far out the things are down. Down one engine, yep. They can lose like 5 and still complete this thing.
The hot stage will be jettisoned for this flight, and that should occur just after the boost back burn. So we're about
Yeah, the reliability of the engines needs to be worked on, but that's they got a whole new generation that has a lot less parts. Like a lot less parts. Is it rotating on purpose, I hope? Hope that rotation's part of the stage set. Looks like we got some funky venting going on already. Looks like something fucking broke already.
Alright, seeing the engine start to throttle down.
Oh, there it goes. Clink, clink, clink. Down to 3. Separated. 3 lit. 6 lit. Flipping back. One's still out. Same one's still out. Alright. Now can we get past 2 minutes of flight?
We've got 6 engines running.
Wait, there's his flat.
Booster is doing its boost back burn, continuing now towards its splashdown site in the Gulf.
The sheer shit they share with us is amazing. You know, the fact that they're showing us live telemetry of how many engines are doing what, not, and
You heard them.
you know, this is all test shit, but they're showing it to us. So many other companies don't tell you anything about it.
Thrust level in those Raptor
Looks curved because of the lens.
3 vacuum optimized.
Down to 3.
Good.
Do we have a leak? Do we have a leak? Looks like we got a leak again right there.
There's a view into the business end.
Looks like we got a leak and fire going already, like last time.
Alright, so at this point we finished our boost back burn, so that was shut down. So that's the first of the 2 burns after a launch. That the
Aliens only let us know what we need to know.
Headed towards the Gulf. It's not going to be quite as an aggressive of a flight down. We relaxed that angle of attack a little bit, but we are then going to be looking for it to do its engine tests for the landing.
How much gas thrusters it takes to push that thing around.
Typically, we start with all 13 center inner engines lit for that landing burn and bring that down to just the center 3. But one of our test objectives
How melted those things got from the hot stage. They got wrinkled.
So we're going to be intentionally turning off one of those center 3.
That's why they're redesigning those for the next one. They'll be farther down so they don't melt.
Yeah, we did see one of those engines in the middle ring shut down during the initial
Hey, the
like
hot staging ring is gone.
You can see it floating away there to the left of the booster. Yeah, we did see one of those middle engines shut down during the ascent. Again, we are resilient to engine out on Super Heavy. We're able to get through our ascent. Starship flying on the expected path.
No, they're not going to catch it because they're going to simulate more engine outs
Back in the mix
to see if the computer takes over
of the landing
and starts a different engine.
Light up all 13, but we've even done a landing burn at the tower with an engine out. So very resilient. We'll see how it does on its way down to the Gulf, though.
They're trying some stuff to see how it makes out with fake engine
We
outs.
got a couple of minutes. That landing burn start should be
You see where it took off from. That's pretty cool.
seconds away.
Look at that. You can see where it went up.
That's always rad to see the
How hot that fucking thing is.
plume itself in the background as it was coming
How
in.
glowing it is.
About 20 seconds to landing burn.
They're apparently going to drop it from higher up, too, so it destroys more of it so it doesn't float into Mexican waters. They said they want to stop the engines firing higher up in the air, so it... There we go. And when it goes to hover, they're going to shut there. They shut one down, and the other one took over.
Down to 3, including one of the middle rings.
So it's hovering. Like it's going to be caught. Look at that shit. It's working. No, one wasn't supposed to relight. They purposely left one of the center ones off.
And landing burn shut down.
And now it's going to fall into the ocean.
Into the Gulf. Here we come.
Boom! There it goes.
And the booster has splashed down.
Incredible.
See, we're one that spinning. That's good. Stable over here.
Meanwhile, back in space.
We're not flipping and
7
flopping.
minutes into today's flight, ship continuing its ascent burn. This goes until just about 9 minutes into our flight. That ship engine cutoff is slated for 8 minutes and 57
Right into the Gulf of America. Absolutely.
Those 3 RVAC, the Raptor vacuum engines, those are the bigger circles in that little indicator.
They purposely were dropping it from a higher altitude so it would damage it. Uh-oh.
Continue burning for
Are we pitching?
longer on those inner 3 before we hit Seco, second engine cutoff.
We're going to make it to Seco without spinning around in circles? That'll be awesome.
Yeah, these views are looking great. Once again, thanks to Starlink for getting us these views. It's just incredible.
Yeah, Tim Dodd's thing, he said the Gulf of Mexico, and his fucking chat exploded. It's easy to say because people have been saying it for so long.
A late boom from the booster.
Just got a late boom from the booster. It's the Philippine Sea. Uh-oh. We're wobbling a little bit.
The ship engine cutoff coming up here just shortly. And as we mentioned, today's flight test is not an orbital flight, but rather one that demonstrates Starship's orbital capability.
The fuck was that?
Alright, entering the final phase of this burn.
Oh.
Under 30 seconds to go.
It's not... Yeah, there's a vent. I think that's a vent. What do you think? Still looks like a little fire right there. Now it's over here. Right there. Looks like a leak with a fire.
Alright, shut down the vacuum engines.
They're off the coast of Australia. Yeah, that's why they put the buoys out, and that's why it's launching when it is, so it'll be daylight when it gets there.
Ship engine cut off.
We shut down those center.
Oh, we made it. The engine cut off. We're in orbit. Or we're not in orbit. We're in coast. See if we got a leak so it doesn't flip all over the place.
Go. That's what we want.
Nominal orbit insertion.
Nominal orbit
Alright, we
insertion.
just heard the call out for nominal orbital insertion.
Still has its use. That's what I thought. Busy signal. Doot, doot.
Alright, so ship is in space. There we go.
It's not
See
flipping.
The flaps starting to move into a stowed position. That's why it looks like your camera's moving.
Yeah, exciting to see Starship safely in
Staring at the sun.
Super pumped to see all the teams.
Don't stare at the sun, Sadie. It's
today.
bad.
And of course, as guaranteed, it's been an exciting day so far. We successfully lifted off right on time at 6:30 p.m.
Oh, they're testing the flaps now.
Thankfully, our weather was looking good today. Yeah, and booster.
Don't know if all those fell off or they didn't have them on there because they said they left off a bunch. I don't know if those
Yeah,
fell
ship
off.
Able to complete its ascent burn all the way in. You can see some of the shadows start to creep as it's going to be eventually flying into an orbital nighttime. So we'll see some
Can they climb?
start to go away. But ship is in orbit, completed its burn, and
Well, it's not in orbit, but it's in
now we've
space.
got a whole bunch more to go. So we've got some exciting demonstrations planned while we're on orbit.
FTS is
That
saved.
right there, we just saved the FTS, the flight termination system. That's an automatic flight safety
So all the people in the
system we
Turks and
have.
Caicos won't get
So that
fucking
is
rocket
now
over
turned
top of them
off
again.
while ship starts its coast period. We are coming up. Our next milestone is going to be the deployment of those Starlink simulators. We've got some payload inside of Starship that we're hoping to deploy into space for the very first time. That deploy is supposed to start at about 18 minutes and 27 seconds into the flight, so just about 7 minutes from now. That deploy will take place over a couple of minutes. It'll go about one satellite a minute, so we'll be spread out over that. It might get a little dark, but we've got a couple of views that we can show you to see that deploy in action. After that, we're also looking to do a relight of a single Raptor engine while we are in space. We've done this once before. This is not necessary to deorbit, as we are in a suborbital trajectory, but this is essentially a chance.
Turks and Caicos
test
with
out
U.S. missile tracking
to be able to
station.
do a deorbit burn. So we'll be doing that.
Or
a
took it
little bit
over in
later
the
flight, about
90s.
37 minutes or so into the flight, and then we get into re-entry. We're looking to get that light show and, more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's machine.
Yeah, exactly. At about T+45
The FAA
minutes,
took it
we'll
over.
be heading for re-entry. Again, running those experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing missing tiles, metallic tiles, and also intentionally loading.
I can't tell if they're maneuvering this over here or if it's got a slow drift.
Splashdown in the Indian Ocean.
Or if they're maneuvering specifically to kick those off.
Get to a re-entry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control. So
Radar comm, BOR,
we're able
NDB
to go
site.
in,
Yeah.
you know, heat shift
Cool.
first the way we're designed to. So we ended up losing contact with the ship before we could make it all the way through. So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data that we want to make sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. As Amanda just said, we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle.
Tell how much of that venting is supposed to happen because of the sun beating on the metal.
Before we ever start moving towards, you know, putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do re-entries a little bit later on. So really, really critical to get that data. Really looking forward to a controlled re-entry.
Yeah, for sure. As we always say, our main payload is data, but today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators that Starship will be deploying, we'll see coming up here in just a few minutes. These are dummy
There they are.
satellites that are about the same size as our V3 Starlinks. We have 8 in the Starship PEZ dispenser and expect to deploy at a rate of about 1 per minute, as Dan mentioned earlier. Starlink is critical in all of our flights on Starship to get our main payload data, as we always say. And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing these views you see as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of flight.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of
Also
the
a
Starship
submarine
payload bay
social
there for a
site.
second. So there's 8 of them there.
Subs
They
coming to
kind of
Cuba.
look
Yeah, I'm
just
sure.
like
Ooh,
steel
look at that
plates,
shot.
Essentially, they're roughly the same size as those V3
Looking at
satellites.
Africa over there, lights.
When we do
That
get
where they'd be?
view
Almost
inside the
Africa?
payload bay, the payload door will kind of be on your right, and we'll start to see them go out like a PEZ dispenser. Yeah, here's a look inside. So those right down there in the center, they're kind of 2 stacks of 4 on either side, and then the payload door is just to their right. So we'll look to see that open, and then those satellites start to go. We vent the nose cone, so we essentially bring it down to vacuum before we open the door. That was one of the things we ran into on the last flight, as when we had that fuel diffuser fail, the pressure in the nose cone became basically too high.
Yeah, there's not shit floating all over inside. Well, I say that as something floats by, but there's not a ton of shit floating by inside like there was last time.
We have not seen anything like that on this flight. Everything's looking good with our fuel tank and our fuel press system. So we are hopefully just a couple of minutes away.
That must be them venting it off. Everything's moving up towards the vents.
Our first ever payload. It's not the first payload
First time to get it spit out.
Shoot off into space.
All that dust.
All right, so I think we're supposed to open the payload door in just about a minute and change. And you're seeing a little bit of residual gas. And we opened the door once. I want to say it was back on flight 3 when we were able to make it up into space. And you'll kind of see a lot of that gas rushing out into the vacuum of space. It's the residual that's left over after we've already vented it down. So kind of a cool light show. And then we'll get ready to deploy those payloads out.
I really wish they'd stuck a battery and a Starlink and a camera on one of those simulators, because how cool would it be to look back and see the fucking rocket drifting away from it? That'd be an awesome shot.
As we mentioned, so we have crossed over now at this point into an orbital nighttime, so views from the outside will get
Some fire inside.
But
yeah, unfortunately it's dark outside, so it wouldn't see much.
Later in the day here.
I'm sure they thought about it, but I'm sure it's at nighttime, so they figure they're not going to see anything.
It's daytime over in the Indian Ocean, where we are currently headed.
But it'd be cool as fuck. This is a little tiny cheap ass camera stuck on there with a Starlink and a battery. Kick it out. It's only got to last for 5 minutes.
All right, one more time. Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Sorry, I can't do that, Dave. Oops, there goes all the dust going out the... They said it would when it vent. Big LED light, yeah, you could do that. Oh, it's opening. It's moving up. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I can't do that, Dave. It's opening. We can see daylight. Yeah, that's true. Just a couple big ass fucking spotlights.
So we are currently in payload deploy prep.
It worked fine. It was about 5.5, but yeah, it went well. Now let's see if these spit out or if they're stuck.
And the door is open.
It did say 18 minutes in before it spit them out.
Alright, so the payload door is open. We should see the first satellite start to deploy at about T plus 18 minutes and 27 seconds. So should be only about 30 seconds. So one step closer. How listen this time he cooperated. He opened the payload door.
Where's this? Oh, this is from the backside looking out at it.
Kind of behind the Pez, you're looking out into the vacuum of space.
About 15 seconds until payload deploy.
Whoop, that. I want to touch it. It'd say 29, right? You're late.
Should this transition to payload deploy?
Doesn't want to. It doesn't want to. We don't want to spit them out. Something jammed up. Yep. Something didn't work. Oh, wait, moved up. Is it going to spit one out? There we go. Yeah, it's spitting them out.
There we go.
Oops, it looks like it got stuck. No, it's just retracting to pick up the next batch to spit it out. Maybe. Or is there one still on there?
Pew pew. Been waiting way too long to do that. There we go.
There goes another one.
Oh, it took a while to get the second one out. Whoa! It's gonna bonk. It bonked. It's testing simulated Starlink Gen 2 satellites. They're big satellites.
Super exciting moment as you can hear.
It's simulating spitting them out.
And Starbase. Everyone's super excited for finally getting to deploy some
Two are out. Let's see if any of the others go. There we go.
System moving down. Next row.
Line up for the next row.
As we said, we're going to do about one every minute or so, and this is just kind of a dress rehearsal for when we're going to be deploying the V3 satellites, and these are
V3, not V2, V3s.
Massive increase to Starlink's.
The data they're going to, the size is so much bigger than the originals.
50 terabits per second of capacity.
50 terabits a second, fucking insane.
Per launch, that's 20 times more than what we're adding with every single Falcon 9 launch today, which, you know.
I wonder how many cameras they have on this thing.
There goes another one.
The one, then it backs up and then spits out the next one. I don't know why it backs all the way up to spit the second one out, but probably timing, I guess. I don't know. I didn't build it.
All right, so as we said, we've got 8 total that we're going to go through today. It's about a minute for each one, but good on payload deploy.
See if this one bonks on the way out. Looks like it's going to bonk. Nope, maybe not. Next row. Cool as shit. I guess you can't fling them out too fast, because if you do, every action there's an equal opposite reaction. You'll throw your fucking rocket off course. If you fling them out really fast, you'll fling your rocket the other way really fast. Finally getting somewhere with these with this launch.
All right, so we're about halfway through when we actually start launching the V3 Starlinks on Starship. We're going to be flying about 60 each time, so it'll be about an hour to get through a full stack. But again, it's just going to be a massive increase in the amount of bandwidth. It's going to enable gigabit upload download for people to start.
So it can send all the data wirelessly from space, and I can't get my scenery to download. Yeah, I know, right? Like I said, he could literally transfer every bit of data on both my servers if they were completely full in under a second. But we gotta, the gauges won't load in Flight Sim.
Yeah, views brought to you by Starlink of us deploying Starlink simulators before we deploy actual Starlinks.
This one gonna bonk.
Right,
The second one seems to twist a little when it goes out. Come on, cut it out. There's nothing to be fussing about.
Is looking smooth today.
First time it's ever worked. One more to go, and then we'll see the door shut.
All right, looks like we've got one left.
Almost there.
Yeah, there you go. One remaining, so 7 of the 8 have been deployed. One more to go. And then we will have completed our first ever payload deploy operation. Just a reminder, we're on a suborbital trajectory. These satellites on that exact same suborbital trajectory, they're going to burn up entirely and are on that same trajectory towards the Indian Ocean. So the last...
Finally getting some successes after, what, 2 or 3 failures in a row?
Starlink simulator...
3 if you consider the one blowing up on the pad, and 2 failures. And got to be exciting. Let's see if the
There, yeah, now it's empty. Looking a little lonely, but
door closes. Close the pod bay door, hell.
really, really cool to see them all out there. Again, people that have followed know Starlink's really critical for the Starship program. In addition,
Got to keep the jobs.
All those views back to cameras on Starship, which this is an external view. As I said, it's dark outside right now. The lights are off, so it's going to be hard to make stuff out. But in a little while, the sun's going to start coming up as we get to re-entry, which is going to be really critical. We use Starlink for Starship data. Cameras also use it on the cameras that we use to bring you views
The light dream.
of these launches, and also hopefully
Did this door shut?
the re-entry.
Is that why we lost the light?
What we get from the Indian Ocean today, and that's just kind of how it all comes together. Like, we're using Starlink on the planet, off the planet, and with Starship we actually get pretty insane. If you're in the space industry, you know bandwidth to space is usually pretty minimal. We get about 120 megabits per second. That's split between our high definition video and real-time telemetry. We get that every phase of flight, including re-entry. So it's not just giving us views of re-entry, but we're getting all of that engineering data in real time through phases that it used to be impossible to get them in real time. So
Oh yeah, you used to have no comms, blackout data the whole way down for minutes on end.
The world's largest satellite constellation operating in low Earth orbit to deliver high-speed, low-latency broadband internet. This provides internet access to people all around the
I don't know what they charge for Starlink in space.
Today, Starlink serves more than 100
Autocorrect is great, isn't it?
territories and other markets with over 6 million active customers and counting. To meet the growing global demand for
What happened off camera? Probably the door shut.
its factory in Bastrop, Texas, and also introduced Starlink Mini as well as an upgraded version of the Starlink station.
I will say my Starlink Mini works really well.
Payload deploy complete. View Starship is now.
That's what I mean. He probably saw the door shut.
And continue to coast towards Earth, around Earth, towards the Indian Ocean. Sorry,
Maybe she was doing something under the table.
here in space, people. Still a lot of major events to come, though. We are looking to relight one of those Raptor engines at about 37 minutes, 33 seconds into the flight, followed by atmospheric entry, hell of a light show, and splashdown. So we're going to go on a quick break. Take a
Quick break. I gotta watch
Sit
the
back, enjoy
sound.
views. A little bit dark now, but they'll get better soon. A couple of space jams. We'll be back in just a few minutes for that Raptor relight. And then
Moving in there.
re-entry.
Oh, we just gotta watch the music because they use fucking copyrighted music. So. The door shut? It looks like the door shut. Where's the door? Door's over there. Yeah, door shut. That's pretty sick. They're singing. Pretty fucking cool. No, I thought I left at 5 a.m., but it's tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. It's the next day. For some fucking reason, all the way up until my stream, I thought it was fucking Wednesday. I even took Wednesday's pills. I double took my pills today because I had no It's not Wednesday. It's only Tuesday. I thought it was Wednesday. Crawl up the side of the camera and look at the fun. That'd be fucking cool. Something poke his head out and look around right now. I found a place, Gammy, that's got European rail trips. Switzerland, Alps, rooms included, the whole shoot match. Someone was vaping on the flight earlier. I know it looked like it, didn't it? Hey, Silent Ranger, how's it going? But yeah, the European rail trips that are all inclusive. You pay one, they set up the whole trip, and they got I'll send you the link. There's some pretty reasonable prices too. I found. I may have to fly over there and take one or two of them. Like 5 nights for $1,200. Includes all the rails and motels and everything. You just need to get your flight there back. So, what's going on, Sadie? Now the dust is starting to spin around inside. I hope it's not tumbling again. Dust, probably frozen ice and dust. That's the common dome. That's a dome of one of the fuel tanks, so I'm sure that was full of ice at some point. Ice and dust. And a snail. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it shouldn't be moving. It should all be moving in straight lines, but it's curving, and it shouldn't be unless the ship's spinning. Yeah, you're right. They're probably repressurizing it. You're 100% right. That's why shit's blowing around. You're right. Someone's vaping and eating shrimp cocktail. Somebody should have made a little fucking thing that sticks its face in the front of the lens. You know how people would talk about that? Little tiny face pop up, disappear. Imagine living in just that much space, a little bit more, but not much more space than that, living in that for 9 months on the way out to Mars. Kids run out the room screaming. I'm hoping it lands. I'm hoping because they need the data from the landing more than anything now because of they've got missing tiles in certain spots so they can read how much damage it is. There's a liquid cooled tile. There's all kinds of test tiles, so I hope it sticks a landing. I think it will. I mean, they did it twice with the other version, so they've done it twice. They just haven't had luck getting there since. So. Oop, outside. That scared me. I wasn't expecting that. Don't rest your chin on the keyboard, mutt. So I'm not a mutt. I'm an inbred. Purebred. Same thing. Getting some daylight would be nice. Hopefully we don't see the flaps melt this time. I was actually surprised it lasted as long as it did last time with it tumbling. As much as it was tumbling. The fact that it lasted that long and the atmospheric entering was insane. Or the RCS fuel runs dry. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. Press it, squeeze it, tap it. Hit that like button. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I'm not one of those. Sorry. Yeah, we don't do that. We just roll with it. You flicked it? You flick it more than twice, you're playing with it. Just so you know. I comment. I stroked it. What do you suppose is red glowing down there? Plasma? No, they're too high for plasma. I don't know what the fuck. When did you say they were going to relight? I bopped it. Is it sunrise? Yeah, probably. Got to be getting just over the coast of Africa. Just starting. Africa's underneath them now. What I come back to? Interception from the Chinese. You know what's really odd is that SpaceX like doesn't patent anything. You always come back when somebody says stroke it. Oh, remember that song, Stroking? I be stroking. Stroke it to the east. I stroke it to the west. Stroke it to the woman that I like the best. Moonraker. That's a good movie. I just realized that nighttime is just being in the earth's shadow. That's deep. Their spidey sense. She can it's a fucking like mother sense, for Christ's sakes. You know when your kids are fucking up. She shows up like right when we're getting to be degenerate. She shows up. The other problem is she's like worse than all of us put together. Oh, we're losing altitude. Oh, we're supposed to lose altitude. How's the speed doing? Still going up? Yeah. You show up the good parts. Nope, the nose is pointed back that direction. They must have turned it to spit the things out. Your thingy changed. What do you mean you're not? Oh, you went to number 2. From nothing to number 2? Oh, your picture changed. I don't think it's plasma. They're still 150 kilometers up, so they're above the Kármán line, so there's really shouldn't be plasma at this altitude. Oh, the sun glinting off of venting? I have no fucking idea. We're going to go over Madagascar, looks like. But she just saw that little piece of dust go by, and Sadie just went after it, like, hey, what was that? She right up on the table, like, where'd that go? It was a bacon heart, so that you moved up to 24 months? Was it 24 months? What it changes, I think? I don't remember. UFO. I am bacon. That bacon, Sadie. Oh, they just moved the engines. They're going to relight one. Yep, there we go. Got the relight. Shut down. It was, yeah, cool. Oh. Yeah, now they're back. So they did a relight. That's cool. Oops. They've probably been talking and I didn't know it.
Version here. So again, that's going to be really critical for when we're doing deorbit burns, like as you're going through, which if you don't have one of these, oh my god, they're so much fun. But like you're able to actually like light.
You just broke it.
Light that engine. Not set my co-host on fire, and that's what we'll eventually do to break out of orbit, come back down to Earth. So really, cool
it was to simulate deorbit burn or
again,
orbit circularization.
It was our last in-space thing.
Very exciting. We're going to be heading back for re-entry at about T plus 45 minutes. So we're going to take another quick break, and we will see you soon.
There's a stimulate going. Oh, don't want to get caught with their music. There we go. Well, everything looks a lot more stable. For re-entry, that sounds fun. It's a lot of trouble. You got an awful lot of trouble today. You just have not had a good day. Better than no entry. It's to allow changes of orbit and flight, re-entry or boost burn, yeah. Maneuvers. Sounds like an STD. Just to prove that they can relight the engines. Without it, they can't. They're screwed if they can't relight. Oh, there's a flap. There's shit falling off the flap already. We're not even in there. You're coming rear entry. How the hell did they get a hole in the flap? What is that? We haven't even started re-entry and something's broken on it already. You broke it already. Suppose that thing he had in his hand was like a voodoo doll. He broke it on that thing, so now it's broken on the big one. Not my watch. Looks like they're changing the attitude for re-entry, putting the flat side down. Assimilate the probes. Voodoo rocket ship. Hey, Gunner. How'd your flight go? A lot of people, I hope. Cool. Looks like they're changing the orientation. Venting. Venting's hitting the sun and causing it to look like it's glowing. 50 plus? Awesome. Gammy had 500 this morning. So I tried to push out your video. Yeah, it was a raid from Brett. That was cool. I think it was 700 at one point and then dropped down to 5 or some shit. Yeah, prior to that I had like 20. Still, 500 is cool. That's awesome. Was he showing OnlyFans? I don't know what he had on. I don't know what one he was doing this morning. I wasn't watching. I didn't even, it wouldn't even show up my feed. He was rated by his brother, and then he rated, yeah, ATS or ETS, one of the two. I think it was ATS. Reaper rated him, and then he rated Gammy, and then Gammy rated somebody else. They got passed around a lot today. Yeah. Gang streaming, getting passed around. What the fuck is that little dude standing there? Look at him. Look at him. Look at. He's waving. It's waving. Little dude sitting there waving. That guy that I rated heart attack. See, look at the damage here on this thing. Look at it. It's already shredded and we haven't even got the re-entry. What the fuck hit that? Something fucking hit there. That is all peeled apart. Something didn't go right. It's a Kerbal. Little Kerbal. See him? There he is. Looks like a little dude. That thing is shredded. Wonder what the fuck caused that. That's an aft fin, something, ice or something come off the top half and hit that fucker. Oop, these are starting to power it out. The front, these are the fronts, the backs. I can't ever tell. Are they talking yet? Oop, shit. No, no, no. Go to live. Live, you bitch. Live. Oh, still the music. Engine 3 and 526. Yeah, weird. Checking the flaps maneuverabilities before they go down. That one is shredded. I wonder what the hell happened on the way up to cause that. It's not a good sign for it coming down and successfully surviving the flip. Yeah, I'm on live now. Yep. Looks like we're getting some plasma buildup.
Atmosphere and head for a splashdown
There we go.
in the Indian Ocean. We don't plan to recover the spacecraft today, but if we do make it all the way down to the water, who knows? But the goal of this part of the flight is to learn as much as we can about the ship's heat shield. Fully reusable, rapidly reusable heat shield for a spacecraft has never been done before. It's one of the hardest engineering challenges still out there for us. And so this is a time to really dig in and get that data.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I don't
And
know why,
reentry
where
is a
that
critical
shredded. At
phase
what
of
point in the flight
so
that
we'll
thing
need
got
information on how the
shredded.
ship's system ended up performing.
The other
And
flap.
Starlink will also help us gather as much data as possible, which is really the main reason why we do these flight tests. Starlink provides us with one more path to collect data to help us rapidly iterate on Starship's design. And if the ship manages to make it all the way to re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on the spacecraft flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic
Well, it's getting some re-entry now. Look at the fucking plasma color.
Yeah, throughout history, a lot of times this is when you go into just a complete data and insight blackout, where that plasma sheet builds up around the outside of the spacecraft that blocks all of your signals that are trying to fight through to talk to either satellites out in space or towers down on the ground. Starship's
So pink.
big size kind of gives us awake, but what really helps us punch through is the fact that we're using Starlink.
Whoa, something just punched through, all right.
That's not what
Something
we
just went
wanted to
boom.
see. We just saw some of the aft skirt just take a hit. So we've got some visible damage on the aft skirt. We're continue to re-enter though. And again, we are intentionally stressing the ship as we go through this. So it is not guaranteed to be a smooth ride down to the Indian Ocean. We've removed a bunch of tiles, kind of critical places across the vehicle. So seeing stuff like that is still valuable to us. We are trying to kind of push this vehicle to the limits to learn what its limits are as we design our next version of Starship. So 47 minutes, 45 seconds into the flight, excitement ticking up a little bit on re-entry already, but the light show is continuing.
Oh, whatever that boom was, didn't hurt anything because they're still going.
About 20 minutes or so.
See the pieces falling off the back there.
We were trying to splash down about 1 hour and 6 minutes into the flight.
No, we're going to get
One day,
excitement.
Starship is designed to land on Mars, where there are obviously no runways or other humans
Still
to help
stable,
us out.
though.
So we are doing propulsive landing instead of more traditional means such as parachutes. And propulsive landing enables us to have more rapid reusability with these vehicles.
It's a feature.
The ship itself, it's a little over 50
Look at that
meters
plasma.
long.
That's fucking cool looking.
We've got those 6 engines on board, the 3 vacuum, the 3 sea level, and they're down in that aft skirt region, which
Flaps have control.
Look at this. Looking wild
so
looking.
at this point, the flaps have control. That means we're getting into a dense enough part
See
of the
pieces
atmosphere
flying off.
that the flaps can start controlling us. We're not only reliant on those kind of reaction control system thrusters.
We're going to continue hearing some callouts as the ship makes its way back to Earth.
Hold on,
So
I gotta go
we'll
let
hear
dog out.
entry
Be right
max
back.
heating and
That's
entry
ripped
max
up.
Q. That will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating and aerodynamic loads it will experience as it returns. So if it makes it through those, we could say we're doing pretty well.
I will say I'm happy re-entry cleaned off this camera for us. It was a little dirty from the weather, so thank you Plasma for giving us this view as we start coming down. The hit we saw to the skirt, definitely interesting. I will note, when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were intentionally removing them only in the skirt, is that, you know, that's not over your fuel tanks or anything else that's kind of structurally critical for keeping the entire vehicle together. That obviously exposes your engines, so that could do some things for our landing burn, but for now, we are obviously continuing with this re-entry. We are committed. Indian Ocean, here we come. 50 minutes since launch. Let's see those colors start to build up a little bit. We are at the point where we're in dense enough atmosphere that the flaps have control. about 74 kilometers in altitude.
Oh, look at the vibrations there.
You were starting to see some sunlight, so we intentionally time these launches right now. So
You don't
we
know if
have
it goes.
daylight. The sun should actually come up over the horizon on Starship in about 3 minutes. So as we get a little bit further into this reentry, that
See pieces coming off of it now.
It's going to start to look like clouds and hopefully a bright blue ocean as we make our way down onto the other side of the planet.
Oh, pieces flopping.
We've got these cameras. These cameras are really cool. We added these several flights ago, looking directly at the flaps as not just the heat shield, but these flaps, how they're able to control the vehicle, withstand that
It's
re-entry,
melting. I'm
seal
melting.
locations, so kind of where they connect to the ship itself are some of the most critical. We will do missing tiles on those where, again, we're trying to, we're kind of being mean to this Starship a little bit. We're really trying to put it through the paces and kind of poke on what some of its weak points are. I mean, we even have missing tiles over some of those fuel tank sections of the ship itself. And so we're really trying to see what are our limits. We're doing this over a completely empty area over the Earth. Got our Raptors there. We are, assuming we make it all the way down to the ocean in one piece, we will attempt a flip and a landing burn. We do have at least one buoy, everybody's favorite camera person, out in the Indian Ocean right now, being powered by Starlink. So that's at our planned landing location. So if we're
I'm missing it.
able
This
to get
Mercedes
any
being a
line views
shithead.
of the ship, that'll essentially tell you that we nailed our target. Able to do that on our 6th flight test, do it in the daytime, which was really exciting.
Okay, good. That thing is just screaming. 24,000 kilometers an hour.
10
hitting the
minutes
atmosphere.
until we're probably going to start hearing some of the other big milestones coming up.
Yep, in about 10 minutes, like Dan said, Starship will be transonic.
Oh, we got some
This
daylight.
is going to be the period of flight where the velocities of airflow surrounding and flowing past the vehicle are concurrently below, at, and above the speed of sound, so somewhere in the range of Mach 0.8 to 1.2. For reference, commercial jets have a range of cruising speeds, but most of them fly at speeds between Mach 0.74 and Mach 0.85. So that's 480 to 575
I can't believe it's still in one
miles per
piece
hour, or
for all the shit they took off of it.
772
Be right back. I'll go check on the
kilometers per
dog.
hour.
Yeah, and after transonic comes subsonic. That just means you're slower than the speed of sound. We're still well in excess of that right now. But by the time we hit subsonic, we're essentially belly flopping down. There we go. There's that sunlight. So we're seeing the Earth now come back into view. One of the other things we're doing during this, and you're going to see Starship kind of pitch in some pretty, not extreme ways, but a little extreme, as we're trying to really stress the structure of it, of the ship itself, specifically those aft flaps, so the ones in the very bottom of the vehicle. We're pushing not just how well does the heat shield hold up, but how well does the ship structure hold up. We are pushing it beyond essentially what we think we'll have to fly at to do something like a return to launch site. So again, may not be a very smooth ride downhill, but we're doing that by design. We're really trying to find what are the edges that we can operate at, build up a good data set. But sun is up, clouds and water down below us. We are just about 10 minutes away, a little less than 10 minutes now, until we start hitting transonic and then subsonic. Once we hit subsonic, we're basically just belly flopping.
So the edge is the source of the explosion. Fucking crazy, eh? The fact that it's still in one piece with that much of shit torn up and missing. Just amazing how tough this bird is. If it makes it down and relights, it's going to be insane. 0.8 G. Whew.
All right, so about 55.5 minutes in, you can see the sun is up. Again, we intentionally designed these flights to lift off in the evening here so we get these daylight views so we can get as good a video as possible on the ship, assuming we make
I wonder how many cameras they got that we don't even
at least
see.
one buoy powered by Starlink that's out there
One
in
buoy.
the landing zone in the Indian Ocean, hopefully giving us a view again. If you see any live views, not from the ship itself, that means we nailed our landing target.
Starship just passed peak heating.
Wow, it made it through peak heating.
All right, we just heard the call.
Fucking
that we're
insane.
past peak heating, so things are looking good so far.
Looking good.
That's fucking crazy that it can make it through that with as much missing
And
as
at this point,
banged
again,
up
the,
as it
the
is.
flaps are controlling, so this movement you're seeing is that forward flap moving to try and just maintain control.
I mean, it doesn't mean pieces are still coming off of
As we're
it, but
coming down.
there's tiles missing all over this fucking thing. And it still hasn't melted. The flaps are still working even though it's melted halfway through back there in the corner. Pieces of it torn off. It's still there in one piece. Bonkers. This flap, nothing wrong with this one. This one didn't take the hit, I guess.
Checking in on one of our flaps. We got one of these cameras on all four of the flaps, two in the front, two in the back.
The back
giving
ones are
us
getting melted again.
really good close-up views. As we obviously don't have a camera that can see the entire heat shield. These give us kind of the best that we can do. But looking at those flaps is really, those are just, super critical for controlling the ship. You have some ability to maneuver kind of cross range. So
The fact it's still working is bonkers.
You can see in that indicator at the very bottom right that we pitched up quite a bit. So again, we are maximally stressing those aft flaps right now.
The melt going on.
It's like we got a little bit of burn through the very bottom part of it.
That one too. That one's still burning
looking
through.
good, ship maintaining control.
Uh-oh, little stutter. I can't believe it. Growing up knowing that they would go into a blackout that could last 10 minutes, and we're getting high def pictures from it. I mean, that's fucking crazy. Well, maybe not high def, but we're getting, high quality pictures in a spot that they used to never be able to get anything but nothing. Not even radio communications coming out. Well, she melting, but good. But it's still working. That's the best part. It's melted, but still working. Oop, that piece fell off. Oop, another big piece fell off. Oh, she's almost completely vertical right now.
Still a little bit toasty on the aft skirt of the vehicle as we continue coming in.
Again, we are intentionally stressing the flaps.
Now we're up
so
to
we can
2
learn all we
Gs.
can.
Or 1.9 G, almost 2 Gs. There's 2. They're pounding this beast.
All right, so now we're already well
Big chunks
past
coming
peak
off now.
heating.
I don't know if it's going to rip apart. We're already past the worst of the worst. Now we're picking up massive G-forces.
48, 49, counting down to 48 kilometers an hour.
Stress test. Yep. See how hard we can push.
Transonic to come, so transitioning between the speed of sound and subsonic slower than the speed of sound in just a little under 4 minutes from now. Right now we've got kind of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of forward velocity, and then eventually by the time we hit subsonic. All right, here we go. So this is what we've been talking about, where we are going to essentially try to fully deploy those aft flaps and really stress them out.
Man, they're going to push them all the way out.
This is meant to test the extremes for the vehicle.
Oh, shit. That was working. They're still there. Oh, man, they're just pounding the piss out of this vehicle, opening and closing them. Seeing how much stress they can put on it. Holy shit. They're still working.
See those flaps swinging out. Again, we are We're putting ship through the ringer on this flight in.
Damn! The fact that it... Fucking A, they're pounding the piss out of this thing. They're doing 7,000 miles an hour, or kilometers an hour, and opening and closing those things into the wind. Fuck. See, well, first of all, if they figure out how much they can control it, if they don't need it, they can make them smaller. If they get enough control with that size, they can go smaller and smaller until they lose control. So, I mean, lighter and less burn through. And
today, getting through kind of that max stress and
bonkers.
Definitely things looking good so far. We're about 2 minutes out now from Starship becoming transonic.
One cool thing to note as we get some of those views showing
these are forward flaps.
Length of the ship. One of the changes we made after
snapper
Flight 6
flaps
was to change the tile.
Yeah, they're smaller,
so
farther forward, farther back up the. They're up out of the stream. They're farther away from the center line.
Ships, you don't want to. I think as Elon said, you don't want to shuck the ship as you catch it and knock all those tiles off. So we knew we were going to have to kind of peel back that layer a little bit. And the first time we did it was on Flight 6, and we saw kind of wrinkling and dimples.
One of my landings.
Creating these hot spots in the uneven parts of the heat shield.
About right.
And so we, to kind of address that, we smoothed it out. That's why you've got kind of that nice smoothed out black line now on the ship. And just looking at it, we can see kind of a little bit of hot spot, a little bit of warping almost. Near the payload door, you can see a little bit of colored patina up above it, but we don't see those kind of deep.
Trust that plane.
They almost look like gouges on that, so it looks like that's been pretty successful. So, all right, we are less than a minute away from hitting transonic. Again, pretty soon our kind of our forward velocity.
Landings are test ones. Test landings. Yeah, that's I'm testing the landing gear, testing the flaps.
Essentially, go into our belly flop. If you watch some of the high altitude tests for suborbital campaigns, we were able to test that. That was
bonkers.
It was a pretty fundamental, like, can this thing actually fly?
Testing the gear.
And we were able to prove that out with that suborbital campaign.
I don't fly in real life. I fly in the sim. Usually a flight sim stream, but these are too good to not stream these. I have to stream these. Just because, come on now. These things are history in the making right here. Wow, no more plasma. They're cooling down. Thank God I don't fly in real life. I did fly in real life. Than the others that are doing it. Well, you might hear a few more curse words than you hear in the other ones.
Starship itself is subsonic.
Below Mach 1. Look at this shit. We're going into belly flop.
The engines for a landing burn attempt.
See if they didn't take too much damage. Maybe they can relight.
Landing flip supposed to start in a little over 2 minutes.
That's
Subsonic
crazy.
Indian Ocean, we're on our way.
Starship is subsonic.
Unbelievable it's in one piece. I can't freaking believe it's in one piece. After all they did to that sucker, it's, well, multiple pieces, but look at that view. Oh my God. Epic shit right there. About 50 years now from hang gliders to 777s. Testing the Rolls-Royce engines changed back in '96.
Under 2 minutes, so we're going to do the flip and the burn. So we're only using
It is subsonic.
those 3 center Raptor
620 kilometers an hour. It's well subsonic.
Kind of gimbal, they can move around and steer.
But I've flown hang gliders. I crashed my hang glider. I finally sold that way back when I was, I don't know, 18, 19. Got your PPL? Nice. My son just got his, and he's got his plane.
Our engines chilled in, waiting on one more. So again, we'll attempt to use 3 burns for that initial flip.
I flew a lot when I was younger, when I was on other people's dimes, but when the old guy passed away, and I couldn't afford to continue flying on my own because I lost my job because he passed away, and I was no longer getting a free airplane and free instructor. So then I let it slide. I should have continued with it, but I didn't. So. But it was fun. Something I always enjoyed. Always look back on. Government funded much of your flying? Yeah, well, that's nothing wrong with that. Funded all my uncles. He never flew once that wasn't government funded. He flew helicopter test pilot at Edwards Air Force Base his entire career.
About 30 seconds.
Never flew civilian at all.
Yeah, we're
Never had a civilian license.
So Starship's doing its belly flop right now. We're going to do the flip. Swing out. Let's punch through some clouds first.
Look at this. Are we going to be able to get it relit? Look at this. Look at the views we're getting. I can't believe we're getting engine chill down there, it looks like.
Starship landing burn start out.
Is she going to fire? Nope. Yep. Nope. Yes. No. It flipped and lit. You're kidding me.
There's our flip.
It fucking did it. There's the buoy. You're fucking kidding me. Look at how beat up that fucking thing is, and it did it. Boom. Holy shit.
Hey.
Holy, I think it blew up the buoy. I don't fucking believe it did it. I don't believe it did it. After all that damage and pushed it that fucking hard.
Yeah. Farewell, Ship 37.
Well, if it was going into a tower, it wouldn't have blown up.
Landing, flip, landing, burn. Splash out of the Indian Ocean. There we go.
I can't believe it. It fucking worked.
All right. That was pretty awesome.
Incredible
This is
flight
cool, right?
today for both ship and booster.
Yeah, really incredible. So obviously we're excited here. It looks like everybody's excited
I don't
over
know.
there.
I don't even try to guess
Tyler,
anymore.
How's it going over?
There's Tyler. We get Tyler again before we leave.
Excited you're not born. It was another exciting Starship flight test in the books, and we hope you
Not
enjoyed
Kate, but a
those
good
Starlink views.
substitute.
So congratulations to the team at Starbase and everyone here and around the company. So many
Oh, yeah,
have
that'll blow up.
contributed
Yeah, imagine the
enormously
temperature
to the Starship
extremes between
program
those
as we continue to iterate and make progress
ice
towards
cold water and the
interplanetary
fucking hot ass ship.
So that's gonna wrap
Thermal
it up for
shock
us
was
here in
insane.
Hawthorne. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. It was
That was fucking
great
awesome.
being with you today. Back to you guys.
That
Tyler,
was
better than Kate. Fuck you.
absolutely
Fuck you. Everybody looks like it.
Congrats
No,
to
I
the
just.
teams here. Again, we lifted off from Starbase, Texas, right at the top of our window at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We saw
Oh, you're
Reacher
tired of SpaceX.
successfully lift us up through ascent, had a successful hot staging where ship continued on with its
Look at the jets that have been ripping around there.
Booster came back down, had that boost back burn, and a successful landing burn with that
that was
unique
awesome.
engine configuration as well.
Yeah, that
Unreal.
ship continued on its way, made it all the way into
I can't
space.
believe it
We
made
got
it down to the
see
flip and
first
shit.
ever payload deploy.
So excited.
Much
That
as
was
they
awesome.
beat
We had
that
the
up.
door open, 8 Starlink simulators deployed, relit that Raptor engine, and then on entry we probably gave it a little bit of extra time in the oven, but made it all the way through re-entry. All 3 engines started up, landing flip, splashdown in the Indian Ocean. Promised maximum excitement. Starship delivered. So
Yeah, I did with what they put it through. The fact it made
all
it
of our teammates
unreal.
here at SpaceX. It's been a year. Everybody that's worked on this program, this is what
Well,
we're
thanks to all the
working
new
for,
people
so
that stopped by.
big
Much
congrats to all
appreciated.
of them.
I'm glad you. Hope you
All of
enjoyed
our
it.
Future customers too. For your
Like I said, normally I
And we
stream
also
Flight
like to
Sim, a
thank
couple
the
other
fine
games
people
in
of
between,
Campbell
but I always
County, including
covered the
residents of its
Starflight
newest city,
flights because
Starbase,
they're fucking
as well
awesome.
as the
So
Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Government of Mexico, and the Australian Space Agency.
Be sure to stay tuned to SpaceX on X for updates. More of the views.
Right.
This is
Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out.
the amount of the views. We
And
have so many views that we didn't get to feature on the broadcast.
tomorrow night I'll actually do a
That in
flight
the
stream,
next
I
couple
guess.
days,
I don't have
and
anything
we'll
else
be
to
posting
do.
it all there.
And I don't have to.
Yeah, if you're interested
I'll
in
be
more
here
launch
tomorrow
coverage,
night.
head on over to spacex.com/launches for the most up-to-date information. In fact, we actually recently rolled out a new
Hey, how did they
launch
launch?
for our upcoming launches with details like mission name, launch and landing site, and liftoff time. So be sure to check it out.
You have to rewind.
We just launched
I'll
the world's
rewind.
biggest rocket. Again, dropped the satellites off, suborbital.
Oh, again, thanks everybody. We're gonna call it here.
Deploy for today.
Nailed that
Flaps, flaps,
double
Mr.
header,
TPHI is
splash
all
down,
excited by the
time to go
flaps.
through the
So.
data. Really crazy cool to hit all the objectives today.
Yeah, huge
Have a great
shout out
night,
to
everybody.
who make this look
That was pretty
easy.
awesome. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me while we were watching
We'll
it.
see you back here for Flight 11. Good night.
And we got Tyler.